Now, bring the y outside, and then the student will ask, what is left in the brackets? If I take the y out, it means that I'll be left with 3kx. Alright, so you are welcome once again. Let us look at the question 1B of the 2025 BECE mathematics paper. It says if 1 over y is equal to 3k minus 2 over x, I make y the subject of the relation. I. Using the result in BI, find the value of y when x is equal to minus 1 and k is equal to 2. If you are a candidate preparing for your BECE equations, change of subject, and substitution, these are some of the topics you should not walk to the BECE hall and say, I am coming to write BECE, but I didn't learn those subjects. Almost in all the questions you are going to have, you would have to, at the end of the day, have knowledge, practical knowledge of how to apply equations and then change of subject and substitution. So let's not waste much time. Let's look at the question. When you look at the question carefully, you will realize that this is an equation involving fractions. So how do you tackle a question like this? Very simple. You can use the common denominator method since you have the denominators as variables. And when I say variables, what I mean by that is letters. The 1 over y and then 2 over x. The denominators in this case are y and then x. So just multiply them and use it as your LCM to get rid of the fraction. I hope you understand. So what I mean by that is you take this x, multiply by this y, you are going to get xy. So we are going to multiply every single term here with the xy. So we are having xy multiplying 1 over y is equal to xy multiplying 3k minus xy multiplying what? 2 over what? X. I love to put these things in brackets to avoid any future confusion. So this is it. After doing this, you realize that this y will cancel this y. This x here will cancel this x here, meaning that your first line of solving this problem has been obtained. The first rule is what? To get rid of the fraction. So it means that we are having only x here, and what is left in the bracket? 1 is equal to xy multiplying 3k. It becomes what? 3kxy. Then minus, what do we have left outside the bracket? We have y. What is in the bracket left? We have 2. So now we can remove the bracket properly. X multiplied by 1 is the same as what? X, which is equal to 3kxy. Then minus y times 2 is what? Minus what? 2y. Now the question is telling us to make y the subject. So we are even lucky to have the y, all the terms with y at one side of the equal to sign. So what do? We factorize. I also have a video of factorization. You can go and check it out. So x is equal to, bring the y outside the bracket. For you to understand, rewrite everything. The common item they have here is only y. So the common item between this 3kxy and the 2y is y. That's the common factor between these two things. So we write the y outside the bracket, and then we rewrite this whole thing again. 3kxy minus 2y. We close the bracket. Now, because we have the y outside the bracket, just divide everything in the bracket by y. I hope you are following. So you realize that this y will cancel this y here. This y will cancel this y here. Now, for this particular method, another person who really understands factorization wouldn't have to go through this. That student will just write the x is equal to, now bring the y outside, and then the student will ask, what is left in the brackets? If I take the y out, it means that I'll be left with 3kx. 3kx. Then minus, if you take the y outside the bracket, what will be left here? 2. So one student will be able to go straight away. But if you can't go straight away, then you can go with this approach. The common factor out, then you rewrite everything and divide it by the common factor. So going by this approach, we are having x is equal to y outside the brackets, and then we have what? 3kx minus 2 bracket close. Now, we are supposed to make y the subject of the relation. What do? We divide both sides by the coefficient of y. When I say coefficient of y, what I am referring to is basically whatever is attached to the y. In this case, we have in brackets 3kx minus 2 attached to the y. So we will divide both sides of the equal to sign by the things which is by the item attached to the y. So we will have x is equal to y in brackets 3kx minus 2 all over in brackets 3kx minus 2. This side 2 over in brackets 3kx minus 2. So at the end of the day, you will see that this 3kx will cancel this 3kx. Now we are having the y standing alone. So at the end of the day, we will be having y to be equal to the over 3kx minus 2. Therefore, the y is equal to, y is equal to x all over in brackets 3kx minus 2. Now, we are done making y the subject of this relation. Let's move to the II part of the question. The II part of the question is saying that using the result in BI, meaning using this, we should find the value of y when x is given us minus 1 and the k is given us 2. Now, you need to be very careful with the substitution. So what we are coming to do is we call it substitution. Substitution basically means replacing. So wherever you are going to see x over here, you replace the x with what? Minus 1. Wherever you are going to see k, you replace the k with what? 2. That is all what we are going to do. So we will write our y is equal to, what is the value of x given in the question? It was minus 1. So we will replace this x here with minus 1. Then all over in brackets, we have the 3. Mind you, 3kx means that 3 times k times x. So times, the k is what? 2. And then the x is what? Minus 1. I hope you are following. And then all of this minus what? 2. So everything will be equal to the minus 1. Let's come and tackle the denominator. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times negative 1 is minus 6. And then minus this 2. So we'll be having minus 1 all over minus what? 8. Minus 6 minus 2 is what? Minus 8. Minus 6 means that you are owing somebody 6 cedis, and then you are also owing another person 2 cedis. So in all, you'll be owing minus 8. So at the end of the day, you are having minus 1 over minus 8. So minus 1 over minus 8, you know that minus 1 over minus 8, this minus will cancel the minus. So at the end of the day, our y is equal to 1 over 8. So this brings us to the end of our BEC 2025 question 1. I hope this is helpful, and if you have any problem, please don't be shy. Just leave a comment in the comment section, and then I will address it for you. In case you understood everything, to do well to subscribe to the channel, do well to like and then share it with your colleagues so that we can all grow together. Thank you very much.